Leanne, what's going on?
Oh, my darling, it's so good to meet you,
A
Roy.
pleasure to meet you. A pleasure to
angel.
meet you. It's one of those comedians that you see and your paths never cross during that time on the road. So it's so good to be in New York with another Southerner, because now I can say y'all and used to could and round yonder and over round yonder and back round yonder. Now, how did you go from selling jewelry into stand-up comedy? I feel like no comedian has a normal trajectory into this line of work.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I married my husband, Chuck Morgan, and he took me to Bean Station, Tennessee, in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And in this book, I talk about how I had a dream. I wanted to be in show business from the time I was 9 or 10. But I didn't know, I mean, it never dawned on me to get in a car and drive to LA at 18. Like, that would have scared me to death. So I took the traditional route, and I went to college, and then I met my husband, and I wanted to be a mama more than anything, and had my first baby, and I wanted to stay home with him, and my husband's tight with money. And so I started selling jewelry in women's houses like Tupperware and Mary Kay so that I could get my hair highlighted and I could get my baby an outfit, you know.
Yeah.
And I look back on it now, because I always wanted to be a stand-up, and I had my own little comedy club in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in every one of these women's houses, and they thought I was funny. And I was supposed to be talking about jewelry, and I talked about breastfeeding and hemorrhoids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they started booking me about a year in advance, and the company noticed and asked me to start speaking at their big things, and that gave me the confidence to try to make it. And that was 30 years ago. So I started doing stand-up 20-something years ago.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm from Birmingham, and I think the thing that people forget about the South is that you're not really told that you could do something over there in LA or New York. You're bought into, this is what you do, get a job, get a degree, and start your family and go to church every week. Like, but doesn't it feel good now? Doesn't it feel good to be able to just look back at that and realize, wow, I'm making a living off of what I love doing?
Yes, and you know what, Roy? I used to, at times, you know how it is, you get rejected and people say no and all of that. And I started thinking, am I one of those kids on American Idol that thinks they can sing? You know? And then in this book, I talk about how I was not crazy. You know, I had this dream and this is what I was supposed to be doing. And it's a good feeling.
Yeah, and it is. And I think as parents, what we don't realize as parents is that how much our kids are watching us chase our ambition and how that will inform how they chase their ambitions and their dreams growing up. And if anything, it gives us an opportunity to be a beacon of hope to them. So let's talk a little bit about the book. The book is titled, What in the World? Why that title to start out?
Okay, well, I find myself going, what in the world? I mean, I'm on Kelly Clarkson with my Roy Wood Jr. Honest to goodness, and in the book I talk about bad times too and hard times. You know, everybody has mountains and valleys, and even when you're in a valley, you go, what in the world, God? What is this about? And so I write about, you know, my whole life and things I went through and things I still go through, and then I talk about how this happened to me. Because I was doing comedy for 25 years, and I was just about to quit in my early 50s. I'll be 59 in October. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all, and I've got 2 grandbabies. Beautiful grandsons. And I was in my early 50s, and it was not going anywhere. I was exhausted. I was working a lot, but it wasn't the kind of work I wanted. And I thought, I just can't do this anymore. And I really was about to give up. And then it took off, and I got a Netflix special. I'm the only middle-aged grandmama on Netflix. And thank y'all. And I know, and I'm on my second tour, the Just Getting Started tour, in 100 cities, and I named it that because I feel like I'm just getting started. At my age, and then I've got a Netflix sitcom with Chuck Lorre that we're starting to shoot.
The Godfather of sitcoms. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, my darling. That's why.
What in the world? Leanne's book is What in the World. You can buy it wherever books are sold.